The next nature of management is management as a discipline. Management as a discipline refers to that branch of knowledge which is connected to study of principles and practices of basic administration. It specifies certain code of conducts to be followed by the manager and also various methods for managing resources efficiently. Management as a discipline specifies certain code of conducts for the managers and indicates various methods of managing an enterprise. Management is a course of study which is now formally being taught in the institutes and universities after completing a prescribed course or by obtaining degree or diploma in management. A person can get employment as manager. Any branch of knowledge that fulfills following two requirement is known as discipline. There must be a scholar and a thinker who communicate relevant knowledge through research and publications. Second, the knowledge should be formally imparted by education and training programs. Since management satisfies both these problems, therefore it qualifies to be a discipline. Though it is comparatively a new discipline, but it is growing at a very fast pace. Management as a group refers to all those persons who perform a task of managing an enterprise. When we say that management of X and company is good, we are referring to a group of people, those who are managing. Thus, as a group, technically speaking, management will include all managers from chief executive to the first line managers, that is the lower level managers. But in common practice, management includes only top management, that is chief executive, chairman, general manager, board of directors, etc. In other words, those who are concerned with making important decisions. These persons enjoy authority to use resources to accomplish organizational objectives and also responsibility for their efficient utilization. Management as a group may be looked upon in two different ways: all managers taken together or only the top level management. Management as a process is the next nature of management. As a process, management refers to a series of interrelated functions. It is a process by which management creates, operates, and directs purposive organization through systematic, coordinated, and cooperative human efforts. According to Terry, management is a distinct process consisting of planning, organizing, actuating, and controlling, performed to be determined and accomplish stated objective by the use of human beings and other resources. As a process, management consists of three aspects. Management is a social process. Since human factors is most important among the other factors, therefore management is concerned with developing relationship among people. It is the duty of the management to make interaction between people productive and useful for obtaining organizational goals. Second, management is an integrating process. Management undertakes the job of bringing together human, physical, and financial resources so as to achieve organizational purpose. Therefore, is an important function to bring harmony between various factors. And third, management is a continuous process. It is never-ending process. It is concerned with constantly identifying the problems and solving them by taking adequate steps. Hence, it is an ongoing process. Though the last three, that is management as a discipline, management as a process, and management as a group, is not a part of your syllabus, even then, I just gave you this information so that you can keep yourself updated. Thank you and good night. The next topic of discussion is the various levels of management. We all know that an organizational structure is represented in a form of a pyramidal shape. And in this pyramidal shape, at the apex at the top, sits the top level management, which comprises of the chairpersons, the chief executive officers, the chief operating officers, the CEOs, COOs, the managing directors, the general managers, or equivalent such post holders. The main task of these top-level managers are to integrate and coordinate various activities of the business. They are the ones who frame policies, who formulate the organizational goals and objectives and strategies. Just because they are engaged with these type of works, they are also known as thinkers. The middle-level managers. The middle-level managers consist of divisional or departmental heads, the plant superintendents, and the operational managers, etc. The main task of the middle-level managers are to interpret the policies prepared or developed by the top-level management and to ensure the availability of resources for the implementation of such policies, to coordinate all activities, ensure availability of necessary personnel, and assign duties and responsibilities to them. These middle-level managers are also known as doers. The lower level, which is also known as the first level or the supervisory level of management, are none other than the foremen, the inspectors, or the supervisors who are basically directly in touch with the middle-level management, and at the bottom with the individual contributors or the operational employees. The main task of these lower-level management is to ensure actual implementation of the policies as per directions, bring workers' grievances before the management, and maintain discipline among the workers. They are also known as doers. While the top-level management are known as thinkers, the middle and the lower-level management are known as doers. See, in the next slide, we have given you the presentation of the top level, middle level, and the lower level management. At the top level, which is absolutely on the peak of the pyramid, you find the top level, which comprises of the owners, the chairmen, the board of directors, the vice presidents, the general managers, who are basically engaged in planning long-term goals, products, markets, business, organizing the various business activities, and they are absolutely responsible for planning the various policies and objectives of the organization. On the other hand, in the middle part, you find the middle level management, which comprises of the departmental heads, the branch managers, etc., who are absolutely responsible for taking the responsibilities of implementation of the policies which have been framed by the top level, and they interpret the policies in their own way and forward it to the lower level or the first level or the supervisory level managers. These supervisory level managers or the lower level managers, which comprises of foremen, shift managers, assistant managers, team leaders, supervisors, inspectors, they help in implementation of these plans with the help of the individual contributors or the operational employees, who are none other than the technical employees or the salesmen or the clerical persons in an organization. Now, by now we have come to know that every business requires an organizational structure. Now, this organizational structure depends upon how many subordinates are required to accomplish a particular task in an organization, and how many persons can be effectively and efficiently controlled by a particular superior, how many subordinates he can control very efficiently and effectively, decides what should be the span of management, what should be the size or the scale of an organizational structure. Now, see, depending upon the quality, depending upon the capacity of a particular superior in regard to controlling his subordinates, there can be two different spans of management. One is the narrow span of management, and the other one is a wider span of management. When you talk about the narrow span of management, generally it is seen in a tall organizational structure where a single manager or supervisor oversees few subordinates who again have their own subordinates. This gives rise to a tall organizational structure. On the other hand, when we talk about a wide span of management, we say a single manager or supervisor oversees a large number of subordinates. Hence, they have a quick communication, a faster control on their subordinates. But the organizational structure is not that tall as compared to the narrow span of management. In this slide, I have just tried to make you understand what is the relation between a superior subordinate, where on the left side you see the gentleman instructing her assistant or subordinate, where the superior subordinate relationship is seen. This is called delegation, where one particular person gives instruction to his immediate subordinate, immediate junior. On the other hand, when we talk about the span of management, where we find the picture on the right side of the frame, you find that it reflects the entire organizational structure. It refers to the relationship between the superior subordinate as long as it is required to go down for accomplishing the desired goal of the organization in an effective and efficient manner. This spreading of authorities and responsibilities to the subordinates throughout the organization is known as decentralization. So when we talk about decentralization, it refers to delegating authorities as down as it is required in an organization to accomplish the task easily, whereas when we talk about delegation, it is absolutely delegating authority from a superior by a superior to his subordinate, where the relationship is between two persons. Whereas when we talk about the span of management, we speak about the relationship of the superiors and subordinates right from the top level to the bottom level till it is required for the accomplishment of tasks of other organizational goals very efficiently and easily. Now, part of the first chapter, we are just simply going to discuss in very short a summary of the various functions of management. I would also like to give you a diagram representation of the various functions of management, that is how and what is planning related with what is organizing, what's staffing, what's directing, what's controlling. Here we're just simply going to take a one-liner for the functions of management, because we are going to discuss all these 5 as separate chapters in the later part of our syllabus. When we talk about planning, planning basically is thinking in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, who is going to do it. It bridges the gap between where we are here now and where we want to reach in the future. Okay, next is organizing. Organizing means deciding the framework of working, how many units, subunits are needed. The entire activities of an organization is summed up together, and then they are clubbed into different smaller groups. And then we decide how many posts are needed, how to distribute the authority and responsibility among the various employees working in an organization at the different levels of management. We plan how many machineries, tools are required, other physical resources which is needed when we are continuing with our business activities. So when we talk about organizing, here we, after planning that what is to be done, who is going to do it, when it is going to be done, where it is going to be done, we start planning what are the things, what are the physical and non-physical resources which we need to arrange, what are the activities, how these activities are supposed to be segregated into smaller groups so that a specialization takes place. All these are responsibilities or the functions of organizing. Third, we talk about staffing. Staffing basically is concerned with picking up the right person to be employed in an organization. There are large number of stages through which we pick up, choose the correct person, we train them, we induct them, and we place them in our organization to do the work for us. They are none other than the employees at the various levels in an organization. And selecting these various employees for an organization is known as staffing. Next is directing. Directing here is where we talk about the management, giving instructions, guiding, motivating the employees in an organization to get a work done efficiently. Here, the top level, the superiors rather, communicate the various policies which is supposed to be interpreted by them and forwarded to the lower level management so that the work can take place very efficiently and effectively. So when we talk about directing, basically here, a leadership, a proper communication, a proper motivation, a proper guidance, instruction from the superior to the subordinate is planned in a deliberate manner. Last but not least, until unless we have a method for measuring what we have desired and what we have achieved, planning will have no result. So ultimately, when we talk about controlling, controlling is a process through which we come to know that what we had desired to achieve and what we have actualized, whether what we had planned is going the way we wanted or is there any deviation. Until unless we have a process of controlling, it will not be possible for us to compare the actual result with the desired results, and we cannot end up in the way we want to successfully. So planning is also a very essential method or process which needs to be adopted by any management. Here in this diagram, I have given you the various functions of management. In terms of the first function of management is planning, where we plan what is to be done, when it is to be done, how it is to be done, who is going to do it. Basically, here it refers to those activities where we plan about our future standing in the present. The next function of management is organizing. When we talk about organizing, we all know that a large number of activities are supposed to take place in an organization. We sum up the total activities in an organization, and then we group it, we club it, the related activities into groups. These groups, in other words, are also known as departmentalization. When we talk about departmentalization, we are talking none other than the various departments having related activities or dealing with related activities, like the purchase department, the sales department, the transportation department, the cash department, the accounts department, the stores department, and it goes on depending upon the organizational structure of a business, or the scale or the size of a business. Here we also, after departmentalization, allocate the various responsibilities or duties to the people who are, in other words, known as the departmental heads. They are again allocated or provided with various resources, the authorities, the responsibilities, along with their subordinates to take care of the various duties in a coordinated relationship. Next we talk about staffing. When we talk about staffing, basically it's something which is concerned with manpower planning, estimating the total manpower requirement in an organization, their recruitment, their selection, the development of these human resources of the employees working in an organization, their promotions, their transfers, their appraisals, their remunerations, etc. All these things basically are taken care under the functions of staffing. Then we come down to direction. When we talk about directing, basically from this particular phase of the function of management, the actual activities of a business starts, where a manager involves in, as a leader, communicating, motivating, supervising his subordinates to get the works implemented in a proper, coordinated manner. Next is coordinating. Coordinating basically refers to orderly arrangements of group activities to provide unity of action in pursuit of common objectives. When we talk about recently, we just discussed, when we were discussing something about organizing, we spoke that the entire sum total of activities in an organization is grouped and clubbed into a particular department, and a particular department is entrusted with to a particular head of the department. The departmental head basically is concerned with only those activities which is concerned with his own department. But when you talk about the commonness of purpose, we need to have the coordination among the different groups working in an organization so that the overall organizational objectives are achieved. And here we find the essentiality of coordination. Next is controlling. Obviously, when you talk about controlling, it is something which is concerned with establishing standards to measure the actual performance with the desired results. Now, when we plan something to achieve in our future, and until unless we have a standard method of observing whether what we have planned is going accordingly or not, there will be no proper result. Hence, controlling functions allow us to compare the desired results with the actual results to find out any deviations. If any deviations are seen, to immediately adopt a corrective measure without any delay. which will help us in acquiring or achieving our results as per our planning. Coordination. Basically, it is something which is an essence of management. We all know that there are various functions of the management which is supposed to take place within an organization. Just now, when I was explaining the concept of organizing, I said that the sum total of the various activities which are supposed to be taken place in an organization are added together, put together, and the related topics are clubbed or grouped into smaller units, and each of these units are entrusted to various departmental heads. And these heads are required now to continue on with their own activities the way they plan according to the main policy implemented by the or drafted by the top level management. Now, as these departments are allowed to function in their own way, until unless the activities of the different departments in an organization is integrated, it is never possible for us to achieve the organizational goals. This integrating of the various activities of the different departments working in their own way is done through coordination. I hope I was able to make you understand. So let's read out. Coordination is the force which synchronizes all the functions of management and activities of different departments. Lack of coordination results in overlapping, duplications, delays, and chaos. It is concerned with all the three levels of management, as if all the levels of management are looked together. They become a group, and as in the case of every group, they also require coordination among themselves. So it is not a separate function of management, rather it is an essence of management. Coordination, the characteristics of coordination. First one, coordination integrates group activities. There's no doubt in it that various or diverse business activities are integrated into purposeful group activity, ensuring that all people working in a single direction to achieve the commonness of purpose or the organizational goals. The second characteristic is coordination ensures unity of action. It directs the activities of different departments and employees towards the achievement of common goals and brings unity in individual efforts. Coordination as a continuous process. Obviously, it does not relate to any specific activity or a specific matter, but it is something which is required at all levels and in all departments till the business organization is a going concern or till it continues its operation. Coordination is an all-pervasive function. It is universal in nature. It synchronizes the activities of all levels and departments as they are interdependent to maintain organizational balance. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. Coordination is the responsibility of all managers. As in the previous topic we discussed, it is universal in nature and applies to every department because they are interdependent. So it is equally important for all the three top, middle and lower levels of management to ensure that a proper coordinated effort comes from all the various levels of management. Coordination is a deliberate function. It's very true. It never establishes by itself. It is an absolute conscious effort of every part of manager. Cooperation is voluntary effort of employees to help one another. Effective coordination cannot be achieved without cooperation of the group members. Importance of coordination. First one, growth in size. As the organizational structure or size grows, there's an increase in the number of people employed. These different employees have varied individual aspirations and cultures. So it is important to harmonize individual goals with the organizational goals, which is never possible without coordination. Second, the functional differentiations. Each of the departments and divisions may have their own objectives, policies, and their own style of working. Different departments and individuals are interdependent. and cannot work in an isolation. The coordination is very much essential and necessary for linking the activities of various departments. And last but not the least, specialization. Mostly, specialists have a feeling of superiority and prioritize their zones of activities. Coordination seeks to sequence and integrate all specialist activities into a wholesome effort.